some cilantro in an airtight lid. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's recipe. This week I'm going to show you guys how to sear a fish, and I'm going to pair it with this spicy avocado sauce that I'm testing for my cookbook. It's a mashup between like guac and like guacamole and milk mom. And it is, to me, the perfect sauce to have with protein, so meat or fish, or even with salad. I've definitely made this a salad dressing, and even just to like have a condiment. I've eaten it with chips. And so I really want to hear what you guys think, and let's begin. So to start this recipe, we're going to need 1 large avocado, some lime juice, some Thai chilies, some cilantro. We're going to need fish sauce, so I have some fish sauce here, a little bit of sugar, and some water. And this recipe is so easy because we're just going to throw it all into a blender. So I'm going to add 1 large avocado. To this, I'm going to add 3 green Thai chilies. I like the green ones for this just so that the sauce will stay nice and green. You could also use red if that's all you have. To that, I'm going to chop up some cilantro. I'm just going to rough chop it. And we also want the stems. The stems have the most flavor, in my opinion. And so we want 1/3 cup jam-packed of cilantro. So I would pack it in. Throw that in. And I'm just going to throw this little bit extra in as well. Now I'm going to juice some limes. Now we want about 1/3 cup of lime juice. Throw that in. To that, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of water, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. And now all we're going to do is blend this up. Blend it till it's smooth. And this will last a few days in the fridge in an airtight container. So today I'm going to show you guys how to sear skin-on fish and how to make it crispy. So I have, this is Arctic char, so it looks a lot like salmon, and it's nice, and it has its skin on. So whenever you want to prepare your fish, you want to make sure there's no bones. I usually like to kind of take my knife and just scrape off the first layer of fish, like on the meat side especially, and you'll see there's going to be like a film that comes off. And it's not bad, it's just I don't like to wash my fish because water is basically your worst enemy when you're trying to crisp anything up. And so instead of washing it, I like to kind of run my knife, not cutting the meat, just kind of scraping off that thin film that's on top of the fish. And then I'm going to flip it over, kind of do the same for the skin, making sure there's no scales left. And this is just because like when fish gets packaged, when it gets to the market, you never know, you know, it's sitting in its own juices. And so you want to just make sure you clean that off. And then after that, you want to wipe it down with a paper towel. And you're just going to wipe your fish with a paper towel, making sure it's nice and dry. This is going to ensure you get a nice crispy skin. Perfect. So we have 4 slices here. And now we're going to need just some salt, some oil, and a pan. So I have my pan here. You want this to heat up really high. It's important that you heat this up before you put oil in there, because once you add oil, the oil heats up faster, and that's how things stick. So ensuring that the base of your pan is nice and hot is key. Right before you sear it is when you want to season it. If you season your fish, if you salt your fish like a few minutes before you add it to the pan, what happens is the salt will draw out moisture and then it will end up steaming. You want your meat to be very dry, your pan to be very hot. If there's any moisture to it, it's not going to give it that really beautiful brown sear. So we're going to put a nice amount of oil onto our pan. And you see how it's smoking, how it's dancing. That's exactly what we want. Now it's game time. So we're going to season our fish. I only season on the meat side. I usually finish the skin side with flake salt. Make sure you have enough oil and make sure it's coated. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay our fish down and immediately press either your hand or your spatula down so that the skin is nice and flat. You want to do this for each piece. So when you don't do this initially, what happens is the skin curls up and then it doesn't brown all the way. So making sure you have a nice layer of oil before you add your piece of fish. Then you press it down with your spatula so that that skin really meets that surface. And we're going to let that cook for about like 3 minutes on the skin side, just until it's nice and crispy and brown. As you can see, the fish is not even sticking to the pan because that pan was hot. That pan had enough oil. And now all we're doing is letting it just really crisp up on the side. Now I do like my salmon or my Arctic char medium. So you can cook it to your liking, but you just want to make sure that this side that you have it on is nice and brown. So I could see the edges of my fish are browning. So I'm going to go ahead and check on it and give it a flip. And look at that, nice crispy bottom. If you had a spoon, you could definitely spoon the hot oil onto your skin and basting your fish. But you want to like put the fish on, leave it. Don't move it unless it slides. It will release when it's ready. Nice and crispy. Let's check the other one now. Look at that. So now we're just cooking it so that it's nice and brown. And if your fish was nice and dry, then you shouldn't have a problem with it browning. And when you get to the other side, like you only want to do it for about 2 minutes. You don't want, I don't like to fully cook my like Arctic char, my salmon. And this is kind of a thin piece, but look at that. Nice golden brown color, pretty much done. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick this up, drain off any extra oil. You could choose to present this side if your skin isn't so crispy, but since our skin is nice and crispy, you always wanna present that first. I find this is a great time to just add a little seasoning. Let's see. This one brown. Perfect. See how nice and lightly golden that is? You don't want that to be ever like really black. So now I'm just going to take that off too. And that is all there is to crispy fish. Add a little salt. I don't know if you guys can really hear that, but nice and crispy. Now let's go eat. And now to plate our dish. So we have, and you could do it any kind of way. I'm gonna put the sauce on the bottom just so that it touches the meat. Maybe make it into like a circle or however you want. And of course you could always serve extra on the side. Make this a little bit wider. So when plating, you always want to be mindful, like the meat is the centerpiece basically. So you want to make sure you have everything else to complement it. So here we have our fish, and I just want to hear, you can hear how crispy the skin is. We have a little bit of cilantro just to garnish it. It's a very simple dish, but it's a really delicious one. And there you have it, guys. Look how pretty that looks. The color, the crispiness, all the texture. Now let's give it a taste. It's really hard to like hold and cut, but you hear that crunch. Cheers, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this very simple but very delicious recipe. And let me know what you guys think about the sauce and if it's book worthy. Cheers. See y'all next week.